So today's video is going to be different from the first one because it's more centered on a very controversial topic. But it is something people ask my opinion about a lot, so I decided to share my opinion on this channel here today. Let me tell you a very undeniable truth about guys and girls, regardless of what anybody has told you before. Guys and girls are not the same. We are not the same. Let's pray. In Jesus' name, in the mighty name of Jesus, I'm very grateful, Lord, to be able to be on here and speak again. This topic, Lord, I pray that as I speak on it, that you will inspire me and let me speak your words so this message reaches whoever it needs to reach. In Jesus' name, amen. So it's a very controversial, very argued upon topic, and each gender has their different opinions on it. Like, this is a topic I've discussed in so many settings before, in church, in class, among friends, and guys and girls always have two very different opinions on it. And it's always so fun to discuss, but I decided to discuss it here because I truly believe that guys and girls, regardless of what anybody tells me, are not the same and will never be the same. We're not the same in our behaviors, we're not the same in our emotional processing, we're not the same in our responses to certain things. So because of that, I don't know why people actually believe that a girl asking out a guy is the same as a guy asking out a girl. Because okay, so my opinion on this is that as a girl, even if you like a guy, you'll probably be better off hiding those feelings and thinking of a way to manage them so they don't bother you emotionally and mentally than asking him out. I'm sorry. I will never ever be in support of a girl asking out a guy. That's my opinion. I'm sorry. It's a very unpopular opinion, but it is my opinion, and I stand very strongly on it. I stand very strongly on the opinion that as a girl, you have no business going out of your way to initiate a romantic relationship with a man. You might be a Christian watching this, you might not be a Christian watching this, but I am a Christian. So I am going to relate this to something the Lord has said in the Bible. He tells us, when a man finds himself a wife. Nowhere in the Bible will you see when a woman finds herself a husband. Now, I'm very aware that situations and relationships and cultures differ. I'm pretty sure in from certain countries it's considered very, very normal for a girl to, in some countries and some regions, women actually propose marriage to men. Like, no, women are the ones who say, Fred, will you marry me? And it's like, okay, if it's viewed as normal in that country, then that's one thing, I guess, because as I said before, situations differ, relationships differ. But when we're talking about generally speaking, especially considering the biological and emotional makeup of a man and the biological and emotional makeup of a woman, it is very, very different. When a guy tells a girl, I like you, the processes her brain is going through in that very moment that she's being wooed by a guy is very, very different from what will go on in the brain of a guy who a girl just told, I like you, can we date, it is very different. Why? Men and women have very different emotional should I use emotional maturity levels? We're very different emotionally, though, is just the point. So, yeah, my opinion is if you are a girl and you are looking to ask out a guy, if you want to hear from me, I would definitely advise maybe don't, maybe not, maybe, you know, just deal with it on your own. Maybe sit down and pray to God about it and ask, these feelings are here and kind of overwhelming me. What do I do? Do you want these feelings here right now? Do you not want them here? If they're going to be a problem to me, take them away. Help me deal with them. What you're trying to teach me with these feelings I currently have for this guy, Lord, I pray that you give me the strength and the wisdom and the discernment to pick it and learn it, and you know, yeah. Yeah. So, I have a few points that I set out as to why I don't think a girl should be going after a guy romantically. And to illustrate them, I thought of a very fun way. Okay, so say hi to John and Rebecca. And also, Rebecca is my mom's middle name. So, anyways, so John and Rebecca, right? John and Rebecca are friends in high school. Yeah, okay, they're friends in high school, and so let's just use John and Rebecca as examples, and just imagine what would happen if whether John had feelings for Rebecca and told her, or Rebecca had feelings for John. And I'm going to be going through these using the points that I noted down. Okay, so first, and this is something I didn't know myself, and I didn't even believe myself at first. My dad was the one who told me, and every time I'm like video calling my dad because he's in another country, and we video call not very often. It's not very often I get to talk to him, but when I do, it's usually hours upon hours. And 80% of the time, my father is telling me about marriage, which is crazy to me now, because I remember when I was younger, I cannot even bring up, oh, daddy, before my dad would start saying, which boy? Boy as in how? What happened to the boy? What's going on? Hey, Buku, this, your purity is important and everything. Make the right choices. Everything has a right time. Do you know the typical African parents warning, which is very, very true. Please listen to your parents when they tell you that, because it's very, very true. So my dad constantly lecturing me about marriage now that I'm 20. It's just like, this was not us 5-6 years ago. What happened? Well, anyway, that's basically all, not all he talks to me about, but most of what he talks to me about now, because my dad believes I'm of marriageable age. I don't think I'm ready for marriage at this age, but according to my dad, I am, but I don't plan on marrying at this age. Here, you get it. So, one of the things he told me is that, and I remember I argued with him about this because I did not believe he was right at all. My dad was like, a man that me, I will approve of as your husband. He didn't say it's a must, but he said it in a way that sent across the message that he genuinely hopes. It's like he's saying you don't have to, but coded is you better. You better if you know what's good for you. Basically, he didn't say it was a must, but he was expressing how much he would very much prefer it, because he thinks that's what's best for me. He said he would very much prefer if it's a guy who is at least 4 or 5 years older than me. And I remember arguing, no, age doesn't matter. Like, I genuinely, I believe age doesn't matter, because I've heard beautiful love stories of men with women who were older than them even. And I brought that up. I used that as like an argument. And my dad was like, if you check those stories properly, the women are usually in like their early 30s or something, like they've crossed the proper conventional marriageable age. And it's like, you know, society will look at it as, how far are you sure you can still marry at this age? Sometimes, I guess, for some cases, some women actually marry at 30 something and they're fine. But like, you know, every woman wants to marry young. At least that's what I believe. I want to marry young, just not this young. But Yeah, so my dad was like, you notice that those women are in like their early 30s, and then God happens to show his grace and favor, and they come in contact with maybe a guy in his late 20s who is a wonderful, hardworking, responsible, fantastic man who does not mind the fact that she's older than him. So yeah, that's the example my dad used to counter my points that yes, it happens, but not to young couples. Like the woman is 25, 26, and the guy is 21, 22. Because my dad was like, this word for word, this is what my dad said: a man and a woman who are at the same age have different emotional maturity levels. Word for word, that is what my father told me. I disagreed though. I disagreed. And I was like so determined to prove him wrong that what do you mean? I was so determined. But as time went on, I started seeing his points. Once again, this video is not targeted to start any gender wars, any gender arguments that no, men are not egotistical, no, women are not emotionally vulnerable. I don't care. That will not concern me. It doesn't matter. I'm talking about what is realistic and what is logical and our actual biologic wiring, our actual nature, how God wired and created us. So this is the thing. Have you ever heard the term that girls mature faster than boys? If you have, it's very, very true. It's very true. I think girls hit puberty at least 12 years old. But guys don't see puberty until at least 14 years old. Correct me if I'm wrong. I may be wrong, but I feel like that's about right, probably. Which points to the fact that girls do mature faster than guys. So because of this, a girl who is 12 is more mature than a guy who is 12. As long as the two of you are the same age, you as the girl are more emotionally mature than him. Before you come for me, this is not to start any wars. And again, situations differ, people differ, relationships differ. It is very, very, very possible. I'm not saying it's an impossible ordeal to see a guy who's the same age as a girl and he's not at the same emotional maturity level as her, maybe even more mature than her. It happens because people differ. All this stuff is just nature and biology and the natural way we were wired, but at the same time there are personalities, there are situations. I mean, a guy who grew up in situations where he had to toughen up and grow up like much faster than normal, stuff happens, something that forces him into early responsibility where he has to care for his younger ones, and just situations that will lead to him just maturing faster than normal, like not having a normal childhood and enjoying his youthfulness as a boy because this and this happened and he just had to be there and he just had to be responsible and he just had to take it up. And that happens. A guy like that may be much more mature emotionally and mentally than a girl who is his age, who grew up with a silver spoon in her mouth, no worries, nothing happened to ever stress her life. Do you get what I'm saying? So situations differ. Please don't come at me. Please don't attack me. I'm just a girl. I'm just a girl who is trying to speak the truth. But yeah, the truth is, generally speaking, girls are considered to mature faster than boys, which is why it is very likely that a girl and a guy who are the same age, it's just there are some emotional depths a girl would have at that age that the guy probably doesn't have. Let's relate this to John and Rebecca. So it's very possible that maybe John and Rebecca are the same age or about the same age. Rebecca is a woman and she's thinking about like just life and how she's going to live it, who she's going to marry, how she's going to raise her children, her career. For really serious women, like I respect women who are career driven, like women who you cannot bring the key to success in life is marry a rich man to her and she'll be agreeing with you. You cannot bring that one to me and agree. I will look at you up and down, because me, I'm going to marry happily, but you meet me in wealth. Both of us will join our wealth together. Hmm? Right. What I'm saying is, I'm not relying on marry a rich man to have money in this life. I am planning to have money in this life even before I meet my husband. So we'll join our wealth together and raise our family. Yes. So what I just mean is that Rebecca is probably thinking about her career, about her business, about what she's going to grow up to do with her life, her family, making her parents proud, the family she's going to raise herself. And John, remember I said they're in high school, right? They're around the same age. This guy is probably he has not entered university yet. He doesn't really know how, because some in high school, I don't know if it was just my school. It was probably just my school. I don't think that's how it was in all schools. But like, the girls were always more intelligent than the guys. The girls were always so serious and the guys were always so playful. So they didn't do well academically. It might have just been my school. Maybe this idea is not why I should use an example, because it may have just been my school. But in my school, the girls were like they were down, they were buckled in, they were like so much competition. Like, I was part of it. We were always straight A's, all the girls, including me, because we were so serious. The guys were not. I don't know if it's just my school, but I just believe that a young guy is looking for fun. A young guy wants to explore, like wants to again, this is not to start any worse, but when a guy first discovers girls and dating, the first thing that comes to his mind is the pleasure of having a girl, to call his girlfriend and hug and kiss and other stuff. But the first thing that comes to a girl's mind is, eternal bond, marriage, commitments. That's just the natural wiring of men and women. And it's nobody's fault. Sincerely speaking, it's nobody's fault, because it's our nature. So I'm not even saying any of this to point fingers at men. No. Or to make women seem better than, no. It's our nature. If our own nature was to be chasing pleasure and fun, that's where we would be. And guys would be the more commitments. Jesus Christ. They just took lights. Oh God, no. If anybody is watching this video out of the country, come and carry me. I don't belong here. Okay. They just took lights, but we're continuing with the video. As I was saying, so if it was our nature to be like that, we would be like that, and guys would be the ones who are more like commitments oriented, if that makes sense. But that's nature, and there's nothing much we can do about it. It's just left for you to understand it, so you don't make poor choices, right? So yeah, if Rebecca and John actually got into a relationship, if like John said, like if John asked Rebecca out and she said yes immediately, like, no, like, I mean, like, normally as a girl, even though personalities differ, some girls are actually not serious in life the way some guys are not serious in life. Personalities differ, but I mean generally, if you ask out a girl as a guy and she says yes to you now, she's saying yes out loud. At the back of her at the back of her head, she's saying I do. she's already picturing how your first son is going to look. She's already imagining your house together. She is thinking about marrying you. That's the woman's mind. It goes far. She's thinking about the end of the relationship. Like, where is this going? But it's not the same with men. I don't think, again, personalities differ. There are serious men who know what they want in life, who are committed to being committed, if you know what I mean. While there are boys who want to play around and test the waters and whatever before finding somebody to like commit to and settle down with, there are men who would much rather wait until the right time. Like the Lord tells us in the Bible, do not awaken love until the time for love to be awakened arrives. So if she's thinking about the end of the relationship, there's like, possibly he's thinking of just dating, just for the fun and thrill of dating. I'm not pointing fingers at men once again, but you have to admit that when it comes to thinking about commitment and thinking about, flings and the temporal thrill of it all, which falls into which category between men and women. So I'm not lying, right? I'm not lying. So that is something that is very, very important to consider. Now imagine how much less serious he would be about the thought of commitment if it's the girl that was the one that even carried herself to him first and said, I like you, let's date. In his head, I owe you nothing. You came to me. You said you want me. Fine, let's do. But don't cry if it ends. That's what's going on in his mind. Personalities differ. It's not every guy. It is not every guy. Ibuku did not tell you that's the mind of every guy. But you know which kind of guy it is, because there are very serious guys, as I've told you before, who are thinking about their future and their future wife and their future career and how they want to raise their future families. The question is, how will you know which is which? That's the main question. So I'm not saying this to stereotype all men. I was definitely not saying that at all. Okay, so another big reason I believe you're probably better off dealing with those romantic feelings and attraction to him on your own as a girl is men and women process romantic feelings differently. Okay, so I don't know if a lot of people will agree to me on this, but see, you can never ever, that's why I'm always looking at all these as a girl you can be one of the boys thing. Okay, do your one of the boys very well. It just makes me laugh. Listen, this whole whatever a guy can do, a girl can do better, that's fine, that's all well and good. But let's not take it so far to the point that we forget that God made men and women differently. He didn't create them to be able to do the exact same things, have the exact same perspectives, the exact same strengths, and the exact same weaknesses. You think men and women have the same strengths and weaknesses? Places where a man thrives, okay, a woman would struggle. And there are some things men can do and women can do like it's nothing. And a man will sweat before he accomplishes it. Did you watch this Nickelodeon show, Bella and the Bulldogs? I was rewatching it recently on a website. It was just, I didn't really pass the first 2 episodes because I got bored. But she's a girl. She was on the cheerleading team and the football team, and the football team was like men and everything, and she like dreams of playing football, and she got into the team, and the guys didn't accept her because she's a girl, and she was just fighting to be accepted as one of the boys, like she belongs on this team and everything. And listen, I'm not encouraging gender discrimination. I'm not saying look down on a woman because she's a woman. Looking down on a woman because she's a woman is such a stupid mistake to make, because women know, even men know, the power that a woman has is unmatched. But that power is a different kind of power from the power men have. It's not the power to collect the rights and the positions of men, because that's the wrong kind of femininity. That's the toxic kind of femininity. The power that God has given you yourself, you've not finished using that one. You want to go and say, no, men should stay at home with the baby. Let me go and fight in the front of a war. God that said, man, go and fight for your people. Why you, woman? Why are you trying to fight in his place? Do you get what I'm saying? I feel like we're fighting to the point that we're literally saying we can be men too. Which is it, there's no sense in it. Because if there was, why did God create men and women? He may have just created a neutral being, since it appears everybody can have the right to do everything, right? There are things God created men for that are not meant for women. And there are things God created women for that are not meant for men. That's why men don't get pregnant. That's why women are not as strong as men. Right? Yeah. So the same way their emotional perspectives differ. For example, the nurturing nature of a woman. We are mothers. We are caregivers. We are advisors. Jesus, is that the word? Is it advisors or advisors? Hey. Let's move on. You know, while men are more of the head of the family, the ones who take initiative, it is even in the Bible that a man should take initiative in the family, not the woman. And let me remind you that going to a guy to say, let's start something, no, he's taking initiative. As a woman, even if you think it's harmless, you took initiative in that relationship. And you know, it's just sad because sometimes that leads to taking initiative in literally everything else. Because in the guy's mind, you are the one that said you wanted us to start something. Continue as you've told us to start. Because he didn't want it. He's not the one that came to you. He didn't really send you. And then before you know, you find yourself initiating your dates. You're not using style to suggest, baby, we've been dating for years. Are we going to get married? Even if you don't say it, you're trying to throw signs that I want you to marry me. I don't understand. Because women, we love affection. We love feeling loved. And because we love it so much, it's very important to never find yourself in the position where you're begging for it. But you will beg for it if you're the one who initiated it. Right? A man can do without it. I don't mean like men can do without women. I mean, a man doesn't have the craving for loving and affection and assurance the way a woman does, which is why a man has to initiate it. Because if the woman initiates it, she's begging. And no woman should beg for that. You are a child of God. You are a daughter of God. Why are you begging? God's own princess. Let me not swell your head like that. Let me know why you. So I said we're very nurturing as women. We give birth, we take care of the people around us. We are, that's the nature of a mother. Men don't have that nurturing factor in them. That's why I said it again. Men and women are not alike. It takes a woman to be a mother. Let me tell you something. Children who grew up without a mother can never have the same holistic, emotional upbringing as who grew up in the house where a woman is present. So because men lack that nurturing factor, their emotional makeup is different from the emotional makeup of a woman. Therefore, they will react differently to people's romantic feelings. In other words, let's say John and Rebecca, right? Main characters of this video. So John and Rebecca are classmates. They are friends. They are sitting in class together. And then John decides he wants to let Rebecca know that he's romantically interested in her. So he tells her. And Rebecca, maybe even if Rebecca wasn't interested in him initially, now she's aware that, oh, this guy has feelings for me. Women know feelings are important. Well, women, we feel, and we're aware of how it feels to feel. So we know how it hurts when your feelings are neglected, or your feelings are, because we don't like to be neglected. We know how much we want the affection and the attention. So we understand it in other people too, including men. So when a guy confesses to a girl like John did for Rebecca, okay, oh, if she's interested in him, beautiful. Beautiful. Love don't start from there. But if she's not, okay, she's not. But at the same time, she's thinking about, but wait, oh, this guy that has feelings for me, oh, if I talk anyhow now, his feelings will be hurt. And see, this argument probably doesn't sound valid to some people watching it, but it's the truth. Women know hurts. And I feel like it's because we've been allowed to express our hurt so much. Guys have to shove it in because of this stereotype that men shouldn't cry, men shouldn't be weak, men shouldn't so and whatever. Me, I will encourage my boys to cry. I will tell my sons it is okay to cry, because it's just damaging when you tell a guy to never cry. Why does he have tear ducts? For farting? What are the tear ducts for? Off topic. But like, since we know, we're so in touch with emotions, we feel other people's emotions. Men don't do that. Even if, like I said, personalities differ. Some men are very considerate of your feelings, some men are very thoughtful of you, and you know your heart and how fragile a woman's heart and feelings are. But on the general, that's not how men are. Men are way more tough skinned, and they're not all about vulnerability, and you know. And the thing is, when a guy doesn't want something, he doesn't want it. And nothing, guys can't pretend. If they like you, you know they like you. If they don't like you, you will know they don't like you. Girls can pretend though. We can pretend for Africa. But that's not how guys are. So because girls are more in touch with emotions, she would definitely be more conscious of your feelings, even if she's not interested in you, even if she's not interested in starting a relationship with you. She's going to be very conscious of how you feel. I don't know, because I know that's how I am. I am overly conscious of people's feelings even. So I'm always very like conscious of how I act towards some people, because I'm constantly thinking, what's this person feeling? Because I'm constantly thinking of how they feel. I definitely know that's how I am. And I feel like girls are just more inclined towards that because we are more in touch with our feelings and with the feelings of others. Flip the table and reverse the roles to Rebecca doing the same for John, like telling John she likes him. Look, listen. Personalities differ. I've said person, but okay. So, a good guy who isn't interested in you will tell you he isn't interested in you, considering your feelings and respecting you and everything. And maybe that is the reaction you get if he's not interested in you. I'm still getting to if he's interested in you. If he's not interested in you, maybe that's the reaction you get. But a guy is never going to deep your feelings for him like that. The way a girl would deep it and be considerate of it. I'm not calling men inconsiderate, but that's just a guy's mind is, I don't want you. And they may not even be doing it on purpose. It may not even be that they are doing it on purpose to hurt you. It is just their nature. It's like they can't be bothered to try and accommodate you when they have no interest and can't see any future for it. But it will end up hurting you. But it's not that they're trying to hurt you on purpose. They just don't have the same nurturing nature that enables them to see you and really take their time to, like, consider your emotional states regarding your feelings for him. If they're not interested, it's going to be very obvious, bluntly obvious, and it will even sometimes look like they couldn't care less. And the funny thing is, it may not even be the case. They may not even be doing it on purpose. It's just the nature of a man. And he can't make himself take his time to start accommodating you if he doesn't want you. I don't know if this point is arguable, or if you at least see the message I'm trying to pass across, in case I haven't worded it properly. Hopefully you do, because I'm not trying to say men are heartless creatures. Women can be heartless too. Women can use somebody's feelings to do jaga jaga, because personalities differ. But I really hope you get the message I just tried to pass across. So let's talk about if he's actually interested in you. Let's say John is actually interested in Rebecca. All well and good, they start dating. But listen, it is very, very likely that at some point in the relationship, he will get bored of her. Very likely. Especially if he eventually comes across a girl he is interested in. And then he feels trapped because now this babe meets me in the first place, so now I have to answer back to her. Do you get what I'm saying? And I'm not calling all women loyal, but this stereotype of all men cheats, I know it's not the truth. It's not all men that cheats. It can't be all men that cheats. Do you know how many men there are in the world? They are good men. But it didn't come out of nowhere. It came from somewhere. For you to know, why didn't they say all women cheat? Women are loyal creatures. Men are loyal too. But the tendency for a man to cheat, I'm really watching my words, because I don't want to start any wars. I don't want people to come for me. I don't want people to shake me for me. So, but you understand what I'm trying to say? Nobody ever said all women cheat. It's all men cheat. You keep hearing up and down. Why? It says something. It says something. Because in fact, it takes the fear of God for a man not to cheat. But somehow, in most cases, women are able to call themselves back. I have a man. And because they are so devoted and quick to commit, and they care about relationships and bonds, and they don't want to break it, they caution themselves. Again, personalities differ. There are horrible women who will not think twice about cheating. But women on the general, they think about moving on. So yeah, regarding if he says yes back to you, apart from cheating, I mentioned he might get bored eventually, because he wasn't even the one that chased you to say, I want to be in something with you. In his head, you are the one that dragged him into the relationship. It's just the thoughts of men and women. It's different. There's no explanation for it. It's just nature. It just is what it is. And it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with them. No, God created men. Men are beautiful creations by God. We just need to understand the difference in emotional translations from men and women to be able to navigate certain decisions we make, right? And it's specifically because God knows how He created men emotionally that He said men should initiate. So that at least if He initiates and He's the one that started it with you, He's taking it seriously to some extent. Am I making sense? Another point is please, please don't come for me. Men are egotistical. With loving respect to men, it's true. It's true. Women are egotistical too. But relationship wise, respect wise, men have ego. Now, it depends on the man whether or not he lets that ego make him into the kind of person who mistreats others, friends, his partner because of it. You know this age old issue of men beating up their wives stems from ego, right? Same way with the ideology that because a man has married a woman, she has become his errand girl and he's free to talk to her anyhow in front of his friends to show that I have a wife, my personal female thing that runs errands for me around the house. I can talk to her and she dare not talk to me back in front of his friends, insulting her and everything. It all stems from ego. You don't see girls doing that. Girls more of want to brag about their man. Like, oh, my man is so this, my man is so that, my man is, yeah, my man does this for me, my man does that for me. Not, oh, I have my own personal. Women take pride in their husbands. They're a thing of pride to them. But then from the man's view, it's a thing of pride to them that I married you. Right? Like I have rescued you from singlehood. Like you weren't also single before you married her. I will never understand it because I'm a woman. But I don't know if men are getting what I'm saying. I don't know if you are or if you think I'm saying rubbish. Either way. The thing is that men have ego. So since the ego in men leads them to sort of feel above women, which is still in alignment with God's design, because God did say the man will be the head of the house, the woman the neck, be the partner, the helper, the companion, the everything, but he's the main leader. The woman is there as his backup, as his go-to, as his devoted supporter, as his everything, whatever. Like you know when they say behind every successful man there's a woman. As per, a woman is there rooting for him, praying for him, backing him up, being there for him to attain that level of success. That's God's design. So that kind of ego is not in women, because God knows if He puts it in women, it will disrupt that whole design. They will both be arguing to be on top. Like, I will be the leader, you follow me and back me up. But it's God's design that the man should be in that position. That's why men have that ego. But then the issue is, it gets stroked when you as a girl go and meet him and say, hey, I like you, be with me. You've stroked his ego. And because of that, you are in terrible danger of not receiving the proper respect and love and affection from him as you would receive had he been the one to approach you first. Do you understand what I'm saying? The women always stands to lose something because we're so emotionally attached. See, women fight about it all you want. Like, hey, we don't need no man. We are emotional beings. That's never going to change. And the sooner we accept it and work with it and channel it into our strengths, the better. So yeah, that's basically the point. When you tell a guy you like him, you stroke his ego. That's the main point of this is the third point I'm making here, which is not safe for you because of certain tendencies down the line in the relationship, if you know what I mean. Which leads me to my final point. I'm tired, Jesus. Okay, which is there is nothing you can do or say as a woman to make a man fancy you. He either does or he doesn't. Let me explain. So, I like to believe that the way God created men and women, right? A woman's feelings are a bit more bendable than a man. I mentioned before that a man doesn't want what he doesn't want, and a man wants what he wants. So if he doesn't want you, that's it. He just doesn't want you. But then I feel like with a woman, even if a guy like expresses interest in her, if she wasn't interested in him before, let's say this guy still continues his pursuit of her and continues to express how he's interested in her, and like just shows up for her and makes it known to her that he's serious about her, is kind to her, is a supportive person to her, is like always there for her when she needs him. I'm not trying to sound like a K-drama or some cheesy American high school love story, blah blah blah. I mean, it's part of it, but realistically, there are things guys can do to still, despite her stubbornly saying no, squeeze himself into her heart, and he will do it. He will succeed. She will end up falling for him too. That's a woman. But see, a man saying he's not interested, there's nothing that woman can do or say. Let her text him 500 times a day, he will even be irritated. I'm telling you how men and women work. There is nothing she will ever do to ever make him change his mind that wait, it's as if I actually like this babe. It cannot happen. I don't like this babe, I don't like this babe. And that's on period. Because when he now sees the girl that he does like, that's where all his attention and focus will be. Because men are like, I think it's my sister that once said, I don't even know. I don't know. Somebody told me men are like hunters. I've forgotten who said it. That they go after what they want. They're very competitive with it too. Which is why as a woman you're supposed to be calming down. Because the reason why a man goes far and beyond for a woman he's crazy about is because he knows that you are appealing, because he's attracted to you, you're appealing to him. So in his mind you're also going to be appealing to other men, and men are competitive as heck. Like, men are so competitive, so that's what will make him keep driving. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because he wouldn't want any other man after the same girl he has his sights on. Which is why he doesn't even have time to now focus on another girl that is following him, that wait, oh, but I like you too. Men don't work that way. They only after what they want. And if they don't want something, they don't want it. Like, they have their tastes. It's not changeable. And they're going to keep going after what they want. That's the difference. So yeah, that brings us to the end of this video. This was fun. I really hope at least one of these points that I gave resonates with you and you agree with it. But even if you don't, you are a woman of your own. You're a woman of your own. Yeah. English. Chai. Even if you don't agree with it, do what you feel is best. You do you. Pray about it, think about it, and hopefully you make the right choice. Me, I will never. I remember even in secondary school, apart from my mom ringing it in my ears, even in secondary school, there's something my principal used to say all the time to the girls. Even if in your heart you adore a boy, don't let that boy know. There's just too much you could pay for that. There's just too much that could go wrong, according to me, and things people have taught me, and things I've seen with my own two kuru eyes. So, yeah. If you want to drop your thoughts in the comment section, feel free to. I will be very happy to read them. Thank you so much if you watched to the end of this video. Drop a like and subscribe and share if you had fun watching, and I will see you on the next video. Take care of yourself. God loves you. I love you. Bye.